Director, writer Joe Swanberg, big Chicago guy, who has written and directed some really cool movies. He works with Jake Johnson a lot, who is one of the stars of the television show New Girl, which ran from like 2011 to 2018. Jake Johnson's been in a million movies since. He was in Tag, he was in Jurassic Park, he's been in a lot of stuff. He was one of the voices of one of the Spider-Mans in what's it, Into the Spider-Verse, that movie, the animated one. Great flick. Anyhow, Swanberg's movies include Drinking Buddies, which I liked a lot, and he also did the gambling one, All In, and a bunch of other stuff. The Netflix series Easy was his too. I like his work. I do. Real like just he tells unique stories. Just like they're just cool stories. So definitely check those out. A lot of them are on Netflix. He's at the show. To be honest, I have no idea if he enjoyed my set. I don't know. I wasn't watching for his reaction specifically. There's only been one time in my comedy career where I watched for someone's reaction specifically, and that was Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins. He owns a venue, and then it's like a little coffee shop, but they do like acoustic bands do stuff there, and then they have comedy night once a month. And I got to headline one of the shows there, and I didn't even think he'd be there, but he was. Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins, and you can't miss this guy. 6'4", 6'5", strikingly bald head, and he was laughing, and that was awesome. I saw him in the back of the room laughing pretty hard at a lot of my stuff, and I was like, awesome. I just made one of my favorite rock stars growing up laugh, because Smashing Pumpkins was easily one of my favorite bands when I was like 11, 12, 13 years old. I had Melancholy and Infinite Sadness, which was this great double album that was nominated for like 7 Grammys. It was one of my first CD purchases. It's pretty badass. So to see someone that, you know, you rocked out to enjoying your work it's like a next level feeling. So Joe Swanberg, he owns like a place. I don't know if it's like secret or not. I think it's like a club. You have to be like a member. It's like selling VHS stuff, all sorts of retro stuff in there. I think he does like advanced screenings of movies and like local indie projects there. I don't know if I should drop the name. I don't know if it's like secret. I don't think it's secret. It's called Analog. But you have to be a member. So Kelly knows him, and then he invited some of us over to the store, which was not too far from where we were doing the show. And I'm walking around just amazed by all this old school stuff. I mean, these VHS tapes from forever ago, and really cool shirts, and music posters and stuff like that. Then I came across a stack of Playboys, and I'm just like, oh, look at this Playboy, and I'd say like $2 each, and I was like, oh, that's kind of fun. I top of the stack, I look up at the first one, I'm just like, oh, okay. Then I see what's next in the stack. What's next in the stack was, no bullshit, the first Playboy I ever owned in my life when I was a sophomore in high school. By owned, I think I had a friend who I gave money to, and he was able to get someone over the 18 to buy it for us. I don't know why. We were just like, hey, his cousin will buy his Playboys. We're like, cool, And it's so funny, though, how far we've come as a culture. Because a sophomore in high school today in 2022 versus when I was a sophomore in high school nearly 20 years ago, very different. That kid just opens up his phone, opens up a browser, and could just see all the tits and vag he wants to see. They really do have it too good. There's some this is why every generation hates the next. It's because the technological advancements. And we're full of shit, though, because really it's no generation is better than the other. We just think it, right? Everyone's like, well, what about that generation? They suffered. And I'm like, well, they survived is what you mean. We've suffered. Everyone's suffered. I point that out because, like, yeah, World War II generation, they really sacrificed, and they were very admirable, of course. But I guarantee you the previous generation hated them, just like every, you know what I mean? Every generation hates the next, is my point there. But I saw the Playboy, and I'm like, okay, for $2, I get to have a keepsake from high school. I get to have a blast through the past, get a little nostalgia. That is like the easiest price ever. So I went to go buy it, and even that was exactly what Swanberg said. He's like, how about that? $2. $2, and you get to relive all the old glory. Or I think he said something like that. Really nice dude. Thanked him for, letting us check out his store and come to the show. I didn't really get to like have a conversation with him about anything, but I think he said good set or something at that point too. So that was nice. But yeah, here, I'll show you those of you watching on YouTube, I'll show you the cover. I can't open it up. I don't want YouTube getting mad at me. So real quick, give me 1 second here. Oh, I was able to reach for it. All right. I'm holding up the cover. You see that? Nice, right? It is Playboy from October 2000. Still in great condition, right? Pages aren't sticky, sick pervs asking that question. It was the girls of Conference USA. Conference USA, not a conference anymore, but they had schools like Marquette, DePaul, St. Louis, Memphis, Cincinnati, Tulane. What other ones were in there? I could probably find out real quick because they had pictures of these college students. You know what made me think, though? All the women in this, they're like in their early 40s now. I hope they're doing well. I actually looked up the cover girl. The cover girl, her name is, I should have this ready. This is bad podcasting. Sorry, everybody. She's married to Sean Patrick Flannery. That's all I had to tell you. Here's how I found out. I looked up her name, which I can't find off the top of my head now. Right? Beautiful, beautiful woman, though. And I was like, I wonder what she's up to. I looked it up. It said model, playmate. She was playmate of the year a few months after this. So she was doing really well in the Playboy community and did some modeling, a couple bit parts in TV shows, but she married Sean Patrick Flannery, who's an actor who's been in a million things. He played Powder in the movie Powder. He was Powder. He was a Boondock Saint in the movie Boondock Saints. He was in the most recent season of The Boys. You know, he played Soldier Boy's sidekick. I forget that guy's name. And he's been in a lot of stuff. He's had a great career. And I remember being like happy for her, being like, oh, look at that. That's nice. Even though I don't know what she's up to. She married a guy who's got a great acting career. They got a couple kids together. I'm like, good for her. Then I'm looking at the other women. Now, DePaul University is in Chicago. And I'm looking at some of them and I'm like, they could be bartenders at bars I go to now. Wouldn't that be crazy? Wouldn't it be nuts if I ran into one of these women and been like, hey, I saw your nipples back when I was 15. Saw them again at 37. I hope they look as good today as they did back then.